It's pretty late. I mean, not that late. Like 7:51-ish, kind of late. I wasn't gonna record because I wanted to listen to music, but no. Gotta upload some form of content. Well, you read the title. Pantheon's 1 and 2. All bindings. Just like this. Even though I've already done the bindings prior to this stream, I still haven't gotten the charms binding on Pantheon 4 because it's Pantheon 4, it's pretty hard. And I've done them all separately, or I've done them 2 at a time at least. But here I'm gonna do Pantheons 1 and 2 with all bindings all together. I've already done Pantheon 1 with all bindings on the Godseeker save file. But I haven't done Pantheon 2 yet. I've attempted it, but I got almost nowhere. So, just so you know, that if I first attempt this, it's not because I'm hacking or anything, it's because I've already done this prior to the stream. And it looks hard, and it is, because you only get 4 masks of health. You get the first sword at the beginning of the game, and limited soul and no charms at all. So you really gotta play this as safe and as aggressive as possible, if that makes any sense at all. Since your sword range is literally the size of the knight's head, you have to make sure you're up close and personal without actually overlapping with the enemy and then taking damage like I just did. You have to use nail arts to your advantage here. I've never really been a big fan of nail arts, but I don't really use the nail arts during the first boss, this boss right here. I save it for the other ones. And you have plenty of time to heal here. And as in like other cases, you won't have any room for healing. For example, Soul Warrior. There's almost like no window to heal. And if you are lucky enough to get a heal, then props to you. Because with with only 4 masks of health, there's no room for error. One mistake and you're going home. Literally. There it is, first boss. It took me, I don't know, 2-3 minutes. That literally would have been half the battle with normal things on, so like no bindings. For this boss, I just wait until it's a head, like overhead, and then I just start smacking for more soul, and then it's pretty straightforward. And if you've already gotten hit once, like I just did, and you're close to beating the boss, I say you hold off on using any spells, so you can heal and then continue hitting, because you don't want to risk going into the next boss with only 3 HP. It's like I said, there's little to no room for error, and if you haven't practiced these bosses enough, it's gonna be really hard to hold off at 3 or 2 HP. So sometimes it's best to heal, and sometimes it's best to use a spell. For False Knight, this is when I start using the nail arts. This is one of the spots where I start using the nail arts, because it's gonna take a while to get damage. And I also use his huge body to my advantage, and I use Abyss Shriek. And since this is nothing like False Knight, he's not as fast and he can use nail arts. Sorry, since he's nothing like Failed Champion, you can use nail arts. As for Failed Champion, you won't be able to use any nail arts of any kind. The only thing you'll be able to use is spells. If you're lucky enough to have soul at the beginning and to get soul during the battle. For Massive Moss Charger, any spell works here. It's just the type of boss you have to take slowly. You can't really take it all at once. And you do have windows for healing. It's literally the most helpful thing. I don't know. And for spells, when he's dashing through, you can use Shade Soul, or you can use Descending Dark. For when he jumps overhead, I haven't really tried Abyss Shriek, but you could try and use that move. This is a boss that I'll always end up getting hit on because I get cocky with damage and getting as many hits in as I can. And unfortunately I couldn't heal too. 4 masks. Next we have Hornet. Pretty easy, to be honest. When she does that attack, you just Descend Dark. And it's kind of like fighting her, like, first. I think after this fight, you get the little checkpoint. And if you've completed the Pantheons with bindings before, as I have, almost all of them, then you will get some lifeblood, which can be pretty useful. But to me, the lifeblood won't be useful until I get to the very last boss, if I can, you know, hold all that lifeblood without getting hit, which is practically impossible. Unfortunately, I got down to 1 HP. Don't want to be like that. I'm being a bit careless right now. And that's never good when you're playing Hollow Knight, because you always have to be on your guard. And the thing about all bindings is that you cannot really bitch your way through this thing. You have to take your time, because there's no such thing as, I don't know, Pantheon 1 all bindings done in 5 minutes. It's just, at least I don't think there is. For me, you just can't speed through this. For Gorb, what I find useful is doing nail arts, like the Great Slash, and whenever he's above you, use Abyss Shriek to get 2 or 3 hits if you're lucky. This is pretty straightforward. I mean, it's the first Pantheon. What would you expect? Just keep whacking at him. I really hate getting hit with my lifeblood during this boss because I want to hold it, I want to save it until I have, like, fights like the very last one. Sometimes I'm just being careless like now where I just mess up because everybody makes mistakes. You want to make sure you have soul when you're going into Dung Defender because it's going to be really important. What I do whenever he's throwing the dung balls, I just use Descending Dark. And when he goes into the ground, it's no biggie. You've already done damage to him before he went in. If you need to heal, make sure you do so before hitting him again after he's staggered. When you get to the second phase, make sure you have soul so you can get him out of the ground, so he doesn't repeat, like, jumping up and down again. And even though I did, you know, defeat him, I wanted to make sure that I had at least some soul going into the next battle. Because Soul Warrior's a fight that I do not want to take too long on. Because the longer I take on it, the more consistent I have to be. And the more time I take, the more easy it can be for me to mess up. So about the healing in this fight, whenever he teleports, there's different like windows for healing that you have. The window that I found the longest time for it to heal is when he teleports above you and slashes down. So right here you can find your time to heal because you have the most out of any other teleport he does. If there's any other way, go ahead and do so. I mean, I just favor whenever he's teleporting above you. And you can also use spells, even though I'm not using it. You can use spells to your advantage. And we're done. Alright, this one's the most annoying for me because this thing likes to jump around too much and it honestly annoys me. But the more spells you can get in on this thing, the quicker the battle will be over.
Buffering. Stream lag. Fixed.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if there's lag. I shouldn't have placed it on 720p when I knew that my Wi-Fi was horrible. Now that I know I'm more than halfway through the fight, I want to hold off on using spells. And I want to heal a bit more. Because I do not want to go into the very last fight with only 3 HP. Even though I could easily heal. It's just never a good idea whenever you're doing all bindings. And there. I have some soul left over, lost all my lifeblood unfortunately. But I have soul. That's a plus. That is a huge plus. Very funny. So for Oro, whenever he does this attack, make sure you use Descending Dark as to get as much damage in as possible. And for me personally, fighting Mato and Oro together isn't as complicated as I thought. All you have to do is, whenever one of them jumps over you, have to get in between them using Descending Dark. And It's honestly just good if you just take your time like any other boss. Like I say, you can't bullshit your way through this. Now here's both of them. Whenever he jumps over you, it's stunning dark, and just dash through. You want to make sure you get the rest of the soul before they start attacking again. It's just a test of patience. I like to call these the trials of patience.
Saying to shower like a ridiculous amount of times a week, so here's why I can't eat. I need to game at least 10 hours a day, skipping the rest. You hear me?
I thought I had soul. Alright, one down. I hope I don't die.
What are you fighting?
Okay, I died. That's great. I thought I had soul and I just ran into him. Well, that was a good first attempt. I got to the very end. Alright, second attempt. I don't know why I don't use spells that much during this fight. It could be over a lot quicker if I just use spells, but I don't know. Maybe it's because of that. I usually just get hit whenever I try using spell. I'm gonna be pissed if I end up dying like now. The very first boss. Just find those windows to heal.
So Eptian's posting saying to shower like a ridiculous amount of times a week, so here's why I can't eat. I need to game at least 10 hours a day.
I do not know what you're saying in the chat. But it's okay. That's as I was saying. These Pantheons with all bindings, I don't think I'll be able to complete them all. Mainly because I only tried Pantheon 2 and it was insanely difficult. We have another person that's... I mean, I guess it's great. If you need more time to heal, you can hit False Knight or Failed Champion on the stomach. I mean, on the back, whenever you're healing.
Balls.
I know exactly who it is in the chat, and I'm just not bothered to stop the stream because of that. At least I think I know who it is.
Certainty, you didn't he?
And if it's who I think it is, it's in the chat. I'm gonna be pissed.
But you couldn't he, you didn't he, and now you're repaying the price, you goddamn idiot.
What? Okay, I know who this is. There's only one person that literally types like that and spams. Okay. You just stagger right on top of me. That makes sense. Heal. And then... That's unfortunate. I can't heal. But it doesn't matter. Alright. Next one. Pretty annoying one. I mean, to be fair, all of them are annoying except for Moss Charger, Massive Moss Charger, and Fluke Alarm. I think that's the name of it. Can you not teleport away while I'm smacking you?
Hello everyone and new here.
Alright, here we go. Still at 8 masks of health. And no soul for this fight. Great. I mean, I'll still be able to do this. Alright. We're at 6 HP. We should be fine though. Make that 5. Make that 4. Alright. All soul lost. Well, not soul, all lifeblood masks lost. But still have soul. Which is good because I'm gonna need it for this one. As mentioned earlier, for Soul Warrior, whenever he teleports above you, after you move out of the way, you can use that window for healing, which is like the longest time that you have. Descending Dark works surprisingly well on this boss, which I wouldn't really call a boss because it's just something that spawns in front of you when you're in Soul Sanctum. I wonder how much damage I'm actually doing with this. Oh, I think it's 5 damage with the level 1 sword. I hate the range that this thing has. It's too big. The range is just too much. And I also like how this thing's like on the verge of extinction. That's pretty funny too. If you guys call me a horrible person for making fun of an almost extinct animal, creature, animal, I really don't care because it's literally the worst thing ever. Like, I wouldn't even blame myself if I were this thing and I was endangered and about to go extinct. Like, I'd understand why. Like, this thing, all it does is walk back and forth, spitting whatever the hell that thing is, and then thinking that it's gonna do something. Like, I hope it realizes how vulnerable it is. And now attempt 2 with all bindings. I hope I get this because I want to save this on a save file. Easy. Or was easy, didn't take any damage, but this is where the fun begins. Gotta make sure you back off for when they do that attack because your range isn't the best to be working with. Just try to get as many hits as possible whenever one is just idle, just standing there. I got a good feeling about this run, but I didn't think it could happen. heck? Stop calling those things in. Fight me. Oh my god. I'm pretty disappointed that I lost, especially after saying that I felt good about that run. And that was horrible. But we all learn from our mistakes. I'm sure they'll just maybe get it this attempt, or who knows, maybe even the next one. There. One down, about, what, 10 more to go? I think it's 10 in every single Pantheon, I'm not sure. I can't see myself doing Pantheon of Hollow Nest. It sounds unbeatable, especially with all bindings. Like, I know I've said that multiple times, like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna beat this, or I'm never gonna do this. Like how I said like months before that I was never gonna be able to do all bindings on any of the Pantheons. Now look at me. Having beaten it once and yet doing it again, or at least trying to. Get down. Once again, just hit back to get him down. And I forgot to heal to all the way. But it shouldn't be a problem, this boss is relatively easy. I mean, theoretically, not theoretically, but it's practically one of the first bosses that you fight. Stay down. Let me heal. Stay down. Heal. And you're dead. That was pretty easy. I just wish I didn't spend 15 minutes on every single attempt of this, because I have better stuff to do than to spend hours upon hours of this. Because I know for a fact that I'm going to continue trying this and eventually try Pantheon 5 all bindings. It's inevitable. I'm going to try it. Unfortunately. That's odd. Oh, doesn't matter. It's dead. Well, defeated. Hornet, literally the most annoying one. Wow. You're just gonna land a hit on me and then stagger right after? It's kinda uncool. I almost hit her again. Does Hornet number 1 and Hornet number 2, meaning like the first Hornet that you fight and then the one in, what's it called? I don't remember, but like the second Hornet that you fight, do they both have like different Dreamnail dialogues? I haven't really taken the time to find out as to if they do or don't. Really curious as to whether or not they do. Which I'm sure they do, it's 2 separate Hornets. I hate getting hit by Gorb, it's annoying, but I just want to do this as fast as possible. The one thing that I said that you should not try and attempt. But if I can try it, I'll certainly do it. Especially if it means getting down to 3 HP and losing all my lifeblood. Which is a pretty stupid thing to do, but then again, I just want to get this over with. I didn't, oh my god. I'm forced to use the soul that I want to save for the next battle. And it's Dawn Defender, yup. Great. I could have saved more time if I'd used that soul. Or I could have just gone into the fight at 3 HP. That honestly would have just been better. The king's dead. Why are you doing that for the king? Jeez. Obsessed little bitch. Okay, I deserve that. And that too. I'm sorry. Oh no. Just don't. Alright. Just don't burrow. Like, right beneath me. I'd most appreciate that. Yeah, sit down. White Defender. I know this is Dawn Defender, but White Defender's always been my favorite boss. Or at least one of my favorites. It's just, like, in contrast to, like, Dawn Defender. Such a great boss. You know, like the new moves that they add in, and how you can't like unburrow with like the